It would really shock a lot of people to hear the sexual abuse that I went through, the physical abuse that I went through, the fact that my father tried to kill me, the things that I seen as a child that most people can't even imagine, from being left on the street to being homeless, living in a shelter and living under a bridge, just all the abuse, physical and sexual and emotional, that I went through. I got into drugs and alcohol kind of heavy. I dealt a lot with just crime in the Gatlinburg, Tennessee area. Um, got into trouble with the law, missed school a lot. I went through state custody several times, I think 4 or 5 times, and went into even a boot camp for boys. I lived out in the woods 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for a whole year. Graduated that program, and still, after graduating the program, I still went back into drugs and back into the old life that I lived. I drank a lot, picked up women. That was a big thing. I'd love to find a girl or something like that. That kept me going. Constant alcohol as an adult. During a child, it was just a turmoil, just drugs. It was constant, smoking weed, trying to block things out, and do other drugs to keep myself blocked out of reality. The only thing that I seemed to bring on in my life was more anger and more pain. And I became kind of violent to the point where I believed in actually going out and shooting people. I lived that lifestyle and thought of that, planned ways to actually get guns and get things to go in and shoot a bunch of people. In families, I've always noticed that the addicts control the entire family. You have a mother and a son, or you have a wife and a husband, and it never fails to amaze me how much the person who's not the addict is so controlled by the addict. That's not a way to live your life. You can live your life free of those things. But the choice is always up to you. A little later on in life, my aunt and uncle came and rescued me out of a bad situation. I was living kind of in state custody after being taken away from my family, and I was able to go live with them for a year and actually get to spend time with them and spend a whole year with them. So they actually began the stages of me getting some healing. Made a decision as an adult that I wasn't going to continue this life that I was living. The thoughts of just the anger that I had, the hurt that I had, really was spilling out in my life. And I really pushed that on other people, on the girls that I was with and the women that I dated and everything else. And I made a decision that this is just not for me. And it's kind of silly to say, but I made a prayer one day that I don't want to be this way anymore. Somebody do something, or I'm going to do something. And things changed for me. It took a while, but I met my wife and started going uphill from there. A lot of what I'm doing these days is just trying to minister to other people. I'm trying to reach them, to show them where I've been, maybe to explain to them that they don't have to live that way, from all the abuse and stuff that I've had. Maybe I can show them that, hey, even though you've been through that, you don't have to live like that. You don't have to live in that situation, in that lifestyle. I made it, and I think others can too. Now I have 2 children, and I have 1 child on the way. I have a beautiful wife. I have a family that loves me despite all my imperfections. I have a great church that I go to. I have a great job. That life that you're living, that alcohol, that drug of choice that you have, doesn't matter, man. It ain't gonna get better the way you're living. You think that's the way you want to be? I promise you, there's a better life for you. All you've got to do is change. It gives me hope to see other people. To see other people actually make a difference in their lives. To actually see them try. But despite all odds, despite all the things that have gone through, to see them actually get better. can't take for granted what God has given me. I can't take for granted what life has been given. The reason why I'm doing this book is to help people, is to show people that they don't have to live a life of misery and pain. I've been through those things. I've seen those things. My story will help you. I promise if you pick this book up and read it, you'll be able to see a life that shouldn't be here, that there's no reason for me to ever even step foot on this world. But I've been chosen to share my story, and I'm asking you to help me share that story in the world.